देखिए, आप लोग इतने तादाद में अपना काम धंधा छोड़ के आए हैं, या तो हो सकता है आपका काम धंधा ना हो, लेकिन बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया यहाँ आने के लिए। और बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि फिल्म को लेके, फिल्म फेस्टिवल को लेके इतना उत्साह है दिल्ली में। सो थैंक यू जागरण फिल्म फेस्टिवल फॉर डूइंग दिस, एंड थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू फॉर कमिंग हियर। और आज जो बातचीत होने वाली है, जो बातचीत मैं करने वाला हूँ, वो मनोज वाजपेयी साहब के साथ है, जिनको इतना आई लव यू आप लोगों ने बोला है कि वो शर्मा के लाल हो रहे हैं। सबसे पहले तो मनोज की फिल्म, नई फिल्म डिस्पैच है, वो आज शाम को दिखाई जाने वाली है यहीं पे 5 बजे। और ये फिल्म ZEE5 पे 13 दिसंबर को रिलीज़ भी होने वाली है। ये इन्होंने एक नया तीर मारा है, तो पहले बात डिस्पैच की करते हैं। लिटिल बिट अबाउट व्हाट इज़ दैट फिल्म, and from there you can tell us why you choose a particular film.
सबसे पहले तो नमस्कार आप लोगों को। Thank you. It's a very tricky question, I must say that, because I think a story chooses you. Most of the time, it's something that you're looking for, but you exactly cannot spell it out what you're looking for. But definitely, one thing I was looking for was a collaboration with Kanu Behl. He happened to offer me something before this, but somehow didn't reach home for me, and I requested him to give me something else. But that else I could not elaborate. But as soon as I saw I read this one. I spoke to him on the phone, and there are 2-3 things I said. I said it's a thriller. On the face of it, it's a thriller. But I can't imagine you doing a simple thriller. So how are you going to approach this one? He said, no, it's definitely not going to be just a thriller. It's going to be a character study of the protagonist. And that we'll explore in the workshop. And second thing I said, there are 3 intimate sequences, and quite elaborate one. I said, is it necessary? I asked him. He said, it's definitely necessary. I'm not doing it to titillate the audience. And we will understand those sequences once we start the workshop. And those were the things that I had to ask him. And that's all I spoke to him. After that, once the workshop started, true to his word, we actually started with understanding the character, and then getting deeper and deeper into it, trying to deal with the dark zone of the character.
Kanu is one of the few directors now who insists on a workshop, or he likes to do a workshop. What is that like with him?
I come from theatre, hardcore theatre. I come from workshop culture, where I have attended, maybe if I just roughly estimate it, it's more than 200, 250 workshops, and conducted way too many, okay, in the same city where we're sitting in Delhi. I was always in favor of having a workshop for a film, where you not only.
But that doesn't happen very often.
Not very often. It doesn't happen because most of the directors who are directing, they don't come from that culture. Either they have got trained at some institutes, say film institutes, and film institutes usually don't tell the directors to have a workshop. It's always a director's choice and the background of the director where he comes from. Kanu, since he comes from Delhi, and his parents were from theatre, so he always understood the importance of it. And then, he also kind of keeps coming up with the devices when he's doing his workshop. They are completely targeted. They are tedious. They are torturous. They are exhausting. At times, you feel nothing in the workshop. And that's the whole purpose of it to be. But the journey in the workshop is not easy one, with Kanu especially. I didn't mind it that much, but I have seen actors really coming out crying, all shattered.
आप नहीं रोए?
नहीं, because पहली बार तो क्या था, पहले 5 दिन वो खुद स्ट्रगल कर रहा था मेरे साथ, क्योंकि जितने सारे एक्सरसाइजेज वो मुझे दे रहा था वो सब मैंने कराए हुए थे। यहाँ मुझे उनके पर्पस पता थे, तो मैंने उसको कहा कि यार यू नो थिंक आउट ऑफ बॉक्स विद मी, बिकॉज आई नो almost everything. So you have to be a little more aggressive, I wouldn't say, but imaginative when you are giving me something to do.
Okay, so did you keep a count of how many films you've done?
More than 100 now.
No.
Yes, more than 100 films.
ताली बजा दो यार. And it's close to 30 years now since your first
3
film.
decades, yeah, Rajat.
3 decades.
Yeah, 93, I started shooting for Bandit Queen when I was still doing theatre.
Right.
Yes, and so many of us.
First time we saw you, first time I saw you definitely was in Bandit Queen, and already there was a spark on screen. There was, you could see that this is an actor worth watching for. Did you know at that time what the future holds, or?
No, completely uncertain. Bandit Queen, we always thought that this is one of a kind. Shekhar Kapoor has got some funding from BBC Channel 4. There is Bobby Bedi to back it. Shekhar himself, got some liberation, some freedom to choose the way he wanted to choose his actors, for the first time. Otherwise, he was quite busy working with the stars in the film industry. So for all of us, it was a freedom. For us, it was a new world of cameras. So that was something we were all trying to learn.
And not just Seema Biswas who plays Bandit Queen, but you, Nirmal Pandey, Saurabh Shukla,
Yeah, Gajraj Rao,
Gajraj,
Ravi
everybody
Yadav.
made an impact in that film.
Right. I mean, it was a collaborative atmosphere, and that was our first film. And I realized that is it going to be possible with every film that we do? And there was no dream of going to Bombay, because somewhere we were very sure that we will be wasted, we will be treated shabbily if we go to Mumbai from here. But Shekhar Kapoor was very adamant. He kind of convinced us to travel to Mumbai and relocate ourselves, because somewhere he realized that all of you guys have done 10 years of theatre, but all of you are broke. So now it's the time that you get out from here and make some money for yourself. Whatever you want to do, just do. But at least you'll be getting paid for it.
And at that time, Act 1 was in full force.
In full force, at its peak.
At
Yes.
its peak.
Yeah.
You and Piyush,
Ashish Vidyarthi.
Ashish Vidyarthi.
Yeah, Gajraj Rao, Sujit Sarkar, Imtiaz. You name it, everyone was there. Yeah.
I remember watching some of the plays, but later I think. And then, how did Satya happen? How did Satya come to you?
Satya came to me five years after Bandit Queen. Those 5 years were tedious, challenging, and somewhere many a times it created a lot of doubts, within me, whether I really know my job or not. But Mumbai industry does that, and mainly when you land in the city 30 years back, where there used to be no concept of casting directors. The castings used to be random. You really didn't know where to go for work. So all of us were going through the same thing. But what good has happened to Saurabh Shukla, who was my roommate, and say Gajraj Rao, or for many others, Seema Biswas and Nirmal Pandey, that people recognized their work in Mumbai when the private screens were happening. My role was of a silent character, who's always standing beside Phulan Devi. The silent roles were not something, mainstream industry,
जब तक डायलॉगबाजी ना
हाँ
हो.
डायलॉगबाजी नहीं हो तब तक तो लोगों को समझ नहीं आता था. और साइलेंट रोल में मुझे पहचान ही नहीं पाए लोग कि मैं था भी उसमें. So my struggle continued. It was never. But one thing has happened, that all of these guys, including Ashish Vidyarthi, when they were working, they used to invite me to their sets and introduce me to this director or that director. But that was not amounting to any kind of work. So it took me 5 years before I was called for Dod, which Ramu was directing. And Ramu called me, somebody has sent it to me. Ramu looked at me and said, okay, you do it, but what else you've done? I said, I have done Bandit Queen. He said, which role you've done? I said, Man Singh. He said, come again? I said, Man Singh. You mean to say Man Singh who comes in the second part? मैंने कहा, yes, in the second half. No way, you can't be. Are you lying to me? I said, no, I'm not lying, Ramu. But you look different. You look much better, much good looking. Uh, but I said, Ramu, that I had beard. I have done a lot of, what do you call, if effects on my face. So he said, okay, I loved that. I was looking for you all these 4 years, but nobody knew your whereabout. So I'm going to make my next film with you. So don't do this film, we'll do that film.
और तुमने कहा यार ये भी गई.
ने मैंने कहा कि मुझे वो करना ही सर, वो जब होगी तब होगी, ये दे दो मुझे. 35,000 रुपये मिलेंगे. वो ज़्यादा थे मेरे लिए. तो I insisted that I don't want to leave this one. वो जब होगी तब होगी. But he looked at me, he understood that I was quite insecure, of everything about myself. So he said, okay, you do it, but you give me a writer, and I want that film to be written in another 4 months.
You know, I asked Saurabh when Satya was released,
Right.
and I asked him, why did you promote Satya so much in the promotions and not Bhiku Matre? Because it turns out Bhiku Matre is the pull of the film. And Saurabh said, यार किसी को पता नहीं था क्या होने वाला है.
Exactly. The more than 30 screenings, private screenings happened for the industry. For Mr. Bachchan, for Shah Rukh, for Salman, all of them were asking for private screenings. And the words were, it was spreading like wildfire. But all of us knew one thing, that being appreciated in a trial room and being appreciated in theatre are two different games altogether. So we were very unsure. This is the first time our Indian audience is going to see something like this. They would like to see a hero. That's what they are used to. And that is why they promoted as Chakravarti's film than anybody else's film.
But it was Bhiku Matre who took everybody by storm.
It took us, took us completely by surprise. 2 weeks after the release, film started picking up. And third week I went to Plaza because I was invited by the manager. And in Bombay. And I could not come out. I was almost suffocated by the crowd and their, them jumping on me.
Then you thought to yourself, Mumbai ka king kaun? Main. No, because I want to talk about that also, because at times you feel that you've attained everything. But it
we were very happy, Rajat. But I was always a very, realistic guy. One thing I was very sure that I'm not going to do what they are offering me. And they were offering me villains roles. But somewhere I was very scared and nervous that if I touch one film, my career is done. Because they will never let me get out of that fold. Okay? So that much money and those many films I said no to. That left me with no film and no money. Okay? But I was telling someone that the only thing that made me survive is the audacity and the stubbornness. That somewhere I knew what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. Okay, I was very clear what I didn't want to do.
Okay, so that also answers my earlier question. How do you choose your roles? It's out of stubbornness and not wanting to repeat yourself, I suppose.
Okay, when I got attracted to acting, I keep going back to it. What made me take that decision of becoming an actor? And this is exactly the point. That what really I found impressive about actors, that you can actually do various kind of characters and various kind of genre and various kind of stories that you can be part of.
Which is a very hard thing to do in our cinema, where people stereotype you.
Yeah, because there's nothing to lose. But there were few commercial films that I have been part of. I never felt that I'm into my own. I felt depressed. I felt a lot more anxious. then I realized that no, I shouldn't do something which is making me uncomfortable, which is not making me feel happy. I should be chasing my directors rather than waiting for the offers to come, because there are no offers. The kind of films I want to do, or the characters I want to play, the directors don't have it. Hence the offers are not there. So that was the point. I started chasing directors, the new directors, whose short films were showing on YouTube, or somebody like Kanu Behel, whose Titli completely left me speechless. So no, you're finding your directors, going to them, making yourself available to them, and if they have something really worthwhile, you just go ahead and be part of it.
I also read somewhere that you wanted to go to NSD and it took you 4 attempts to get to NSD.
No, actually not.
No,
No,
it's a lie.
no, it's not a lie. It's it's a misconception that I am from National Scope Drama.
Oh, you're not from
No,
NSD.
I'm not.
Oh.
No, so I've done theater outside. It was Barry John and so many workshops that I have attended by the alumni of NSD. My relationship with NSD has always been very, very cordial. Even till now, I go there to conduct workshops. But all the attempts, somewhere I failed. I was rejected.
That's what I was coming to. What does failure mean to you, and how do you deal with it?
The understanding came much later, but the first rejection was very bad. Yeah, it left me completely depressed, and I didn't have plan B for myself. So, because this is what I wanted to do from the time I actually left my village for Delhi. When I was doing my graduation in Delhi University, this is exactly I was preparing for throughout, rather than just going and attending the classes. Okay, so I was quite a favorite to my teachers, like Professor Simeon and Kidwai, because they used to watch my plays, they used to love me as an actor. But the first time when I got rejected, I really didn't know what to do with myself. So it took me 3 months to find a way out. There were workshops happening in Monday House. I just went there and joined it without even knowing what I'm going to do with myself, where my food is going to come from, where the money is going to come from to pay my rent. So if I'm not in National Scope Drama, I have to think about all of these aspects of survival, right? So it took me those many time, and then one fine day, after a year, Mr. Raghuvir Yadav, he happened to meet me. He saw one of my plays and he was quite impressed. He said, come with me. Barry is conducting a workshop for his next play, and he's looking for actors. So he took me there, and that's how my journey in serious theatre started.
And what does failure mean to you now? And how do you still go through that kind of phase where failure depresses you and then you have to work out?
No, I don't get into depression that much. That was the only time it has occurred to me. उसके बाद मैं एकदम सही हो गया था. उसके बाद आज तक मैं उस समय से लेके आज तक मैं कभी डिप्रेशन में नहीं गया, कभी भी नहीं गया, क्योंकि मुझे लगा कि इसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. डिप्रेशन जो हमेशा मुझे लगा कि यार वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम है ये, कि अगर मैं ये मानूं कि मुझे काम कहीं से मिल रहा है, उस काम को करने जाऊं तभी मैं सक्सेस हूं, और जो काम मुझे घर पे करना चाहिए वो जब वक्त मिल रहा है नहीं कर रहा हूँ, तो तब मैं फेलियर होऊंगा कि उस टाइम का यूटिलाइज नहीं कर रहा हूँ. तो चूंकि मैं वर्कशॉप बहुत कंडक्ट करता था, तो मेरे पास एक्सरसाइज बहुत थी जो अकेले कर सकते थे, बहुत सारे ऐसे काम थे जो अकेले कर सकते, तो मैं करता रहता था वो. और आपको विश्वास नहीं होगा, आज भी करता हूँ अगर खाली होता हूँ तो. अब जैसे पोइट्री रेसिटेशन
खाली होते हैं आजकल आप?
कभी कभी जैसे पोइट्री को लेके बहुत ऑब्सेशन है मेरा, पोइट्री रिसाइट करने को लेके. आप कुछ भी पोइम देंगे अभी मैं रिसाइट, क्योंकि वो एक पार्ट ऑफ पर्सनालिटी हो चुका है. तो मुझे लगता है कि पोइट्री रिसाइट करना भी एक एक्सरसाइज है, बहुत अच्छी एक्सरसाइज है जो हर एक्टर कर सकता है, क्योंकि उससे भाषा, रिदम, सुर, इन सब का पता चलता है. पॉजेज की अपनी गरिमा होती है, उसको भी पहचानता है एक्टर. अगर आप पोइट्री रिसाइट करना आपको आ जाता है तो वॉइस एंड स्पीच पे आधे से ज़्यादा काम हो जाता है.
And then between after Satya was Aks, or
I mean, Kaun was there, Shul was there.
हाँ, Kaun, Shul, Aks.
And Aks Zubeda, yeah.
फिर मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि उसके बाद Gangs of Wasseypur was the next big benchmark.
राजनीति.
हाँ?
राजनीति.
राजनीति से शुरुआत।
राजनीति brought me back. It gave me power to back a film, power to
अच्छा,
empowered me.
राजनीति इतनी बड़ी
जब इतनी बड़ी हिट थी और मेरा रोल और मेरी परफॉर्मेंस बहुत ज़्यादा मेन स्ट्रीम पे काफ़ी सराही गई थी, तो वो थैंक यू। उसके कारण क्या हुआ कि कम से कम गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर में मेरे होने से एक थोड़ी हलचल थी उसमें प्रोजेक्ट को लेके। गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर करते हुए भी मुझे लग रहा था कि हम लोग कुछ अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं। कैसी बनेगी ये मुझे नहीं पता था, लेकिन मुझे लगा था कुछ नया हो रहा है, कुछ ये इसको पूरी तरीके से इंडिपेंडेंट फिल्म भी नहीं कहेंगे और लेकिन कमर्शियल फिल्म भी नहीं है, ये कुछ नया है, कुछ नया मिलियो है जो लोगों को देखने को मिलेगा, जिस मिलियो को अभी तक एक्सप्लोर नहीं किया गया है, उनके व्यवहार को, उनके बातचीत को, उनके कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को, मेरे ख्याल से नई चीज़ देखने को मिलेगी लोगों को।
लेकिन मनोज, एक बात मैं कहूँगा कि मुझे भी कुछ 30-32 साल हो गए और बहुत एक्टर्स का काम भी देखा, बहुत एक्टर्स को जाना भी है। शायद ऐसा कोई और दूसरा एक्टर नहीं है जिसने कॉन्स्टेंटली मुश्किल फिल्में ढूंढ के करी हैं, तुम्हारी तरह।
थैंक यू।
रियली इट्स वेरी इम्प्रेसिव, वेरी वेरी इम्प्रेसिव। अभी मामी फिल्म फेस्टिवल में आपकी नई फिल्म द फेबल देखी मैंने
जी।
मतलब जिसने फिल्म बनाई है उसकी भी हौसला अफजाई करनी चाहिए। और तुम्हारे जैसा एक्टर इस स्टेज पे इस तरह की फिल्में कर रहा है जो जिसको रिस्की बोला जाता है, वो बहुत बड़ी बात है। तो इसलिए मैं शुरू में भी पूछा था आपसे कि किस बिना पे आप ये फिल्में चूज करते हैं, यहाँ करते हैं
जी।
कोई कमर्शियल सिनेमा के साथ आपका लगाव नहीं है?
नहीं, लगाव है, बिल्कुल है,
लेकिन अगर रोल अच्छा हो तो?
नहीं, रोल हो। और क्या है कि कमर्शियल सिनेमा के साथ में मैं देखता हूँ, और जब उसको कमर्शियल सिनेमा ने समझा है या किसी डायरेक्टर ने उसको समझा है, उसने बहुत बेहतरीन फिल्म बनाई है। क्या हमारा कमर्शियल सिनेमा दीवार नहीं हो सकता है? क्या हमारा कमर्शियल सिनेमा शोले नहीं हो सकता है? क्या हमारा कमर्शियल सिनेमा हमेशा माइंडलेस ही क्यों? हम कैरेक्टर्स पे, उनके रिलेशनशिप पे काम क्यों नहीं करें? आजकल मैं देखता हूँ कि कमर्शियल सिनेमा के साथ जो दिक्कत हो रही है कि वो शुरुआत ही करते हैं यहाँ से कि ऑडियंस, हमारी ऑडियंस ऐसी ही है, उनको ऐसी ही बात समझ, मतलब वो पहले से ये मान के चल रहे हैं कि हमारी ऑडियंस थोड़ी सी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बात को नहीं समझेगी, थोड़ी सी ज़हीन बात को नहीं समझेगी।
बता दो यार, ऐसा नहीं है।
हाँ।
अच्छी पिक्चरें देखा करो जाके प्लीज।
अगर ये लोग अच्छी फिल्में जाके देखें, अब यश चोपड़ा अच्छी रोमांटिक फिल्में बनाते थे, लोग जाके देखते थे उनको और पूरी ब्लॉकबस्टर होती थी। और उसके पहले भी त्रिशूल बनाई है उन्होंने, और मनमोहन देसाई भी अपने तरीके से जब वो बनाते थे तो कभी भी ऑडियंस को फॉर ग्रांटेड नहीं लेते थे। आजकल हम लोग एक फॉर्मूला ढूंढते हैं कि ये कर देंगे, ऐसा कर लेंगे, ऑडियंस यहाँ ताली बजा देगी, ऑडियंस यहाँ पे हंस लेगी, यहाँ पे गाना चला देते हैं, अरे ये दो स्टार को लेके आएंगे, ऑडियंस जो है थिएटर में जो है सीटी बजाएगी। सो उनको ये लगता है कि वो ऑडियंस को जान गए हैं। अब ऑडियंस जो है वो आएगी, पैसा देगी खिड़की पे और हमारी फिल्म तो देख ही लेगी। तो हमने कहानियों पे सोचना कम कर दिया है, तो हम फार्मूला की तरफ पूरी तरह से चले गए हैं, बॉक्स ऑफिस पे चले गए हैं। और मैं तो इन लोगों से जो बैठे हुए हैं, मैं कहूँगा कि आप अपने ट्विटर वगैरह पे या एक्स जिसको कहते हैं या इंस्टा पे, जब भी कोई बॉक्स ऑफिस की बात करें तो वहाँ पे आप ज़रूर चिपका दो कि आपको फिल्म कैसी लगी। बुरी लगी तो बोल दो, चाहे भले ही इसने 300 करोड़ कमाए हो, लेकिन मुझे फिल्म बुरी लगी। आप लोग ये नहीं करोगे तो चीज़ें बदलेगी नहीं। हाँ जी।
अच्छा, अगर मैं पूछूं तुमसे कि 3 शब्द जो आपके जहन में आते हैं मनोज वाजपेयी क्या है, वो 3 शब्द क्या होंगे?
मैं टू बी ट्रूथफुल टू दिस, आई वुड से कि मैं अभी भी वही बेलवा का बच्चा हूँ। मुझे अर्बन और मेट्रोपॉलिटन और कॉस्मोपॉलिटन के तरीके आ चुके हैं कि कैसे यहाँ रह सकते हैं, लेकिन मैं वो मुश्किल होता है कि अगर गांव की पैदाइश है आपकी तो पूरी तरीके से गांव को अपने अंदर से निकाल पाना बहुत मुश्किल है अभी। बट आई नेवर थॉट कि गांव से रिश्ता मेरा थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा मेरे माता पिता के गुजरने के बाद। जब मेरे माता पिता गुजरे तो जब मैं गांव गया तो मुझे लगा कि शायद कुछ बदल गया मेरे दिमाग के अंदर, क्योंकि आपने उस गांव को और गांव के घर को अपने माता पिता के बिना नहीं देखा था। तो दे समथिंग चेंज्ड इन मी। अब मैं जाना चाहता हूँ लेकिन डर लगता है मुझे।
कम जाते हैं कितने
हाँ,
जाते
कम जाता हूँ क्योंकि डर डर इसलिए लगता है कि मैं बहुत ही स्ट्रांग आदमी हूँ, वेरी स्ट्रांग। द ओनली टाइम आई फील वल्नरेबल जब मैं उस घर को देखता हूँ या घर के अंदर मैं जाता हूँ, तब मैं बहुत ही वल्नरेबल हो जाता हूँ, बिकॉज टू सी दैट हाउस विदाउट माई पेरेंट्स इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट।